Snap, the company behind Snapchat, recently dropped a new cross-platform UI framework that is supposed to deliver native performance without sacrificing velocity. In today's video, I'm gonna be trying it out. I'm gonna give you my honest thoughts and experience while getting started with a new project. Now, this video is about Valdi, but everyone knows that this is a Christian React Native channel, so if you want to become a master in React Native, check out my React Native course. I'm going to leave the link in the description. We also have template and production-ready applications that you can take as example to help you ship better apps faster. Link in the description. Now, let's get started. So this is the repo. It's been a month since they dropped it. And here we have a better description of what Valdi is and the current status of the project, by the way, because it is in beta. Valdi has been widely used in Snap's production applications for the last 8 years. Now, I actually use Snapchat every day and it's, very fast and, I would say it's a very fast native application that feels good. I thought it was native, so I'm surprised to know that it was built with TypeScript. That's really cool. So they are saying that they are calling this a beta because their tools and documentation need more battle testing in the open source world. So like I said, Valdi is a cross-platform framework that delivers native performance without sacrificing developer velocity. You can write your UI once in a declarative TypeScript and it compiles directly to native views on iOS, Android, and macOS. So no web views, no JavaScript bridges, like, old React Native, because the new architecture, we don't have bridges anymore. So it seems like Valdi has been around for a while, at least internally in Snapchat, and it looks like they are trying to take some portion of the React Native developers because they are like attacking here, frameworks that rely on web views or JavaScript bridges, which React Native is, well known, at least the older version of React Native, the old architecture. And by the way, funny thing, they actually reached out to me like months ago, like 4 months ago, and asked me if I would be interested in testing out Valdi. But once they realized that I work at Expo, they said that, this would be like a conflict of interest. So they didn't give me access. And by the way, this video is not sponsored by anyone or, Expo didn't ask me to create this video. I'm creating this video. This is my personal YouTube channel. This is my personal opinion. And it's always good to be informed of what's new out there, like Valdi. So Valdi compiles declarative render TypeScript components into platform native views. Valdi also includes several other performance advantages like automatic view recycling. This means that the system reuses native views across all screens, optimized component rendering. Components re-render independently without triggering parent re-renders, enabling fast experimental updates. Now, in React or React Native, if you re-render, if you are not careful, if you don't use Memo, or if you don't use the React compiler, which does this for you automatically, you might, end up shooting yourself in the foot by re-rendering the entire, tree of components. It has an optimized layout engine. Seems like it's a C++ layout engine that runs on the main thread, aka the UI thread, with minimal marshalling overhead. Viewport aware rendering, only visible views are inflated, making infinite scrolling performant by default. Pretty nice. Awesome, so it also comes with instant hot reload, full VS Code debugging, familiar syntax, similar to React, React Native, TSX component with TypeScript for type safety. Familiar syntax, and if you take a look at the code example that they have here, this looks like, like React or React Native. I mean, old React because they are using classes and extending from a component. Something interesting about Valdi is that they are using Yoga for the layout system. And if we take a look at the Flexbox layout docs here, they even link to the Yoga playground, which, if you're already familiar with the style sheet with React Native, you should be good to start styling your applications with Valdi. Okay, seems like Valdi also comes with worker threads, meaning that you can execute JavaScript in multiple threads, which is really cool. You can also do that with React Native using React Native worklets from software mention. You can also use native animations for native look and feel. Let's take a look. This is something that I really like. It looks promising because you can use this out of the box. If you compare this with React Native, you need to install React Native Reanimated and, you know, a couple more extra dependencies so that you can start using some animations. And this honestly seems easier to use. Let's see the example. Okay, so you can say something like this, dot animate, then you pass the duration. Okay, so this example will change the font and will make the label crossfade to the new size. Looks very, you know, simple to use and really predictive. Cool, I really like that. Okay, they also have gesture recognition. So all the libraries that you can use in React Native from software mentioned, it seems that it comes built in with Valdi, which is always great. We always get this type of requests or questions from people that are trying out React Native for the first time. They are saying like, oh, you have to install so many dependencies just to be able to do a gesture or do an animation. And it's true. And I guess in the future, I think it would make sense if React Native adopts all these libraries like React Native Gesture Handler. Okay, so you can do gestures like on tap, on double tap, on long press, on drag, on rotate, on pinch. Being able to just use it right away with Valdi, it's nice. Built-in testing framework. I'm not gonna build a real app, so I don't care about testing at the moment. But if you are curious, you can dive into the testing here. And the last highlight is that they use Bazel integration for reproducible incremental builds. This is the first time that I heard about Bazel, and it seems that, you know, it's the tool that allows you to compile to the native code. Let's see this example. You can run Bazel build and then pass the path to the Valdi modules that you want to build. You can do the same for Android and iOS. Okay, so now let's see if we can actually start a new application using Valdi. So prerequisites is gonna be to have a Mac OS. I already have that, cool. Then that's it. Valdi dev setup command handles all the dependencies automatically, including Homebrew, Basilisk, Java, Android, Git, Watchman, and more. Tip: for manual installation details, see the macOS or Linux reference guides. All right, so let's see if that works on my machine. I already have some of these tools. I'm going to run Valdi dev setup in my terminal, hit enter, boom, didn't work. Okay, and I forgot to install Valdi CLI. So let's run this command. This is going to install the CLI globally in my machine. Okay, now let's run Valdi dev setup. Okay, here we go. Hopefully this won't screw up my React Native setup. Okay, so Valdi setup command had an issue. Seems like it's related to Android. I'm not gonna dig into it because I just wanna test this on iOS for now. So what I wanna do now is just navigate to my apps folder. And then we can bootstrap a Valdi application. So let me go back to my terminal and I'm gonna say make directory Valdi test. I'm gonna cd into that folder and then I can run Valdi bootstrap. This is going to ask me if I want to create a new project in the current directory. I'm gonna say yes. Now this is interesting. It is asking me if I want to create a UI application or a CLI application. I didn't know that you can create a CLI application. In this case, I want to test on iOS. So let's select UI application. And the name for my app is Valdi test. So let's hit enter. All right, and we have an error. Okay, so it says that I already have Android NDK installed. Okay, I'll run this manually. Paste it in here. Okay, cool. Awesome. So it seems like that I was missing the NDK path in my bash profile. Great. And that's why you use AI. Awesome. Now it's working. Cool. Let's wait. Okay, here we go. Almost there. Oh gosh. There we go. Boom. Awesome. It is running. Cool. Let's see. This is currently running on iOS. Hot reloader disconnected. Okay. Okay, so I found this guide, starting coding, in the getting started section in the Valdi, repo. So we did this. Now we need to start the hot reloader by running this command. So I'm guessing we need to create a new terminal, then run this command. So I guess I need to say Valdi test. Okay, cool. No. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Now the hot reload thing should be working. So I have these two things running. Oh gosh, this is taking a lot of time each time that I run a command. Hopefully this is happening because this is, the first time that I'm running these commands. But it's, yeah, very, very painful and it takes a lot of time. So anyways, once we have that, the hot reloader process will print the console when it's ready to build your changes. Make some changes. Open the Hello World App.tsx. Let's see. App.tsx inside the Valdi test. Ooh, I get a lot of warnings, not sure why. Maybe we need to wait for the... Oh no. Okay. Debugger connected. I wonder if I can... Okay. Cool. I wonder if I can press R to refresh. Or do something. Okay. Hot reloader is connected. Cool, cool, cool. Now let's find the view here. Although we have a bunch of warnings, it's fine. Let's change the background to be, I don't know, black. Awesome, now it's working. Let's go, I have Valdi working. Orange. Oh, oops. Cool thing that, this is using yoga. I already know yoga. Okay, it seems like there's an issue with my tsconfig. Let's just run this project. Seems like it did something. Okay, it fixed my types. Okay, Claude fixed my types. Awesome. All right, so let's see. We have an image. We're passing a source where this is coming from. Okay, so the image is coming from here. Interesting. Okay, I don't want to change it. Another interesting thing is that, you are running JavaScript directly inside the onRender. And this log is here. So if I change this to be Beto, it's safe. Now it says Beto. And everything seems to work just fine. Let's increase the padding to be 50. Code reload seems to be very fast, by the way. I hate that I'm not able to write inline styles. Okay, so let's see if we can create a component. I guess we can just do it inside the source. And let's call it getting started, or I don't know, just test component.tsx. And then let's paste this in here. So we need to say export class test component. And then this extends a component from Valdi core. And then we can use the system bold font and system font to style my labels. Okay, so now let's see if we can use this in here. Not sure how you... Okay, let's try this. Just put it in there. Okay, now I can see my component. Awesome. Now let me comment this stuff and maybe change the background to be, instead of orange, white. I wonder if I can remove it. Okay, it's gonna be black. Yeah, let's use white for now. Let's go back here. Okay, so I need some styles. Let's copy this. Paste it in here. We're going to need to bring style and view. Okay, so this is coming from Valdi DX source native template elements, and this style is coming from Valdi core style. Okay, so now let's create a view instead of... Okay, so this is a layout. Can I pass a style here? Yes, we do. So let's say styles.container. And let's come down here and create a container style. Let's import layout. Yeah, so let's add a background color red. Background. So this needs to be a view, I guess. Background color red. Let's change this to be a view, I guess. It's safe. There we go. Let's remove that. And let's add a flex of 1. So this will take the entire available space. No. Okay. Can we do display? Flex. Okay. Not sure how I can take the entire space available on screen. Okay, I'm thinking, you know, maybe this is not taking the entire available space because it's inside this main. Can I do this? Okay, cool. I wonder if I can use light blue. We can. That's cool. I want to increase the size of these labels. Okay, so I guess we can say 32. Let's increase the size of this. Awesome. Let's add a padding. 24. And I guess we can align item center. Nice. Okay. Okay, so now let's take a quick look at the properties similar to props in React. So you can also define your own properties. Let's see. Let's go back to our test component and we can declare some private variables. So yeah, this is a message, optional, string, and then we can access the onCreate event, which, you know, would be when the component mounts, and we can assign the value, I guess, to be visit, and then maybe we can change this to be website. Yes. Okay, so we had type safety there. Cool. We can assign it to be the website that we are passing here. So we can say something like visit this website to learn more, to master React Native. Cool. Let's see what happens if I make this actually required. So that means that we need to provide an initial value. And if I go back, is this asking for the prop? No. Is this typed? No. Not sure how can I pass this. Okay, let's make it optional. Let's go back to the docs. Yeah, not sure how to pass this. Let's keep it private for now. And we can make it required, you know, and just initialize it to be code with beto.dev, hit save. There we go. So now we're using this variable down here. And we can also use if statements, which is really nice. This actually reminds me of Swift UI. We can declare a Boolean variable, hidden, optional, and then we can render it like this inside their render. So let's see if I can add it here. Maybe I need to remove this. Let's take this out. Not sure how can I refresh my app. Let's open it. Okay, it seems that when I quit the application, it stopped the server. So let's install it again. Hopefully this is not going to take up a lot of time. Okay, it seems that it's doing it faster, although it's still taking time. Yeah, this is taking a lot of time, guys. My computer is on fire right now, but it's almost done. Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. Let's see. For some reason, you know, my image is not displaying. I don't know how to refresh my screen so that, you know, we restart the app, because if I quit the application, then it stops. And not sure how to restart it again. It says to run this command. Let's see. Okay, that was faster, way faster. That's good. Okay, so let's see if we can bring back my if statement. Hit save. That is going to crash it. And the error says that we need to, the root element must be view. So let's wrap this in a view. Then I'm gonna need to run this again. Now this time it's going to take it from the cache. So I guess my Valdi skills are improving. There we go. That's quick. Oh my God, I fixed it. Nice. So yeah, let's add a style maybe so that we're able to see the cat. Awesome. Great. So, pretty rough, like the errors are hard to read in the console. It takes a while when you build it for the first time, but then it's faster, which is good, especially if you run this command, like just passing the application once you have done that for the first time. So that should compile it quickly. And I think this is a good point to end this video. Valdi seems really nice, to be honest. Seems good. It is in beta, so let's keep that in mind. It is a bit rough to get started and you might encounter some issues. The errors are hard to read, but overall Valdi feels more robust. And it feels like it works better than some other frameworks that I've tested. For example, I tested Lynx and I had a bad experience. I think Valdi seems more robust overall. Definitely it's good to see that other companies, big companies like TikTok, Snapchat are open sourcing their frameworks. That is going to help React Native and it's going to help the ecosystem to improve the tools for developers. At the time, I think React Native with Expo is still the go-to framework, production ready, with many resources already available. And of course, improving, maybe we can take some inspiration from Valdi to improve React Native, but we'll see. So I hope you get a nice taste of what you can do or what is it like to create a Valdi application. Please let me know if you have any questions. If I missed something, please let me know in the comments. I hope you like this video. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. Visit codebases.dev if you want to become a master in React Native, and I'll see you in the next one.